Today we have the Overwatch 2 game director reviewing the last 6 months of the game, which is of course from the launch of Overwatch 2, what's gone wrong, what's working well, and what they're working on. This is going to be a very interesting video, so let's do this. This is the director's take reflections on Overwatch 2. Aaron then goes on to say, "Happy Friday, everyone. Overwatch 2 was released nearly 6 months ago. It's hard to believe that we're wrapping up Season 3 and about to jump into Season 4 and still have a lot of exciting moments ahead. Rather than talk about a specific topic this week, like matchmaking, I thought we could look back over the last 6 months and talk about how we feel the game is doing and what we've learned over that time. For those of us that have been with us since day one, this may feel like it's covering familiar territory. I appreciate you sticking with me while we recap the last 6 months of the game." So that's the sort of little introductory kind of paragraph Aaron goes for, and then he starts to talk about communication. Speaking of talking, one of the biggest complaints we've heard from players was that we're not doing a good job communicating about the game. We've been focused on turning this around and have put a lot of energy into giving players information about the game, both in terms of what's coming and what we're thinking. We plan to continue this for the foreseeable future. And while we're talking about ways to further improve our communication with you, for instance, we'd like to publish roadmaps that extend beyond the next season to give you an idea of what to expect from the game in a longer time frame. We hope to talk to you more about this and our plans for the future releases in April. So the takeaway here is, yes, communication is an issue, and this is what they've been struggling with for a while, but there is going to be extended roadmaps given to us. So instead of just getting a very basic sort of, this is what's going to happen in the season roadmap, we're going to get a roadmap which maybe extends multiple seasons and gives you a better idea of what is being worked on with the game. And I think that's positive. Obviously, as a player of the game and all you guys watching the video, yeah, it's positive to know what they're doing. But also, if they don't fulfill the roadmap, then they'll always be, it'll always be quoted back to them. But like, well, you said you'd have this available, and it's not. Where is it? What's going on? That could cause other issues. So roadmaps are always a bit risky for game development, but I think they're good because I want to know what's going on with the game. He then talks about support heroes and the problems with them. Another common topic has been the state of support heroes. A common and accurate complaint was support heroes felt constantly picked on. This feedback is something the team has been working on addressing since before launch. To do so, we tackled the problem from a few different angles. Reduce the ability for damage heroes to disrupt the enemy backline and target supports, give supports additional tools to deal with the threat, exercise some restraint. Many players were getting accustomed to the switch to 5v5. To start, DPS heroes lost their passive and a number of lost their speed passive, I should say, because obviously they've still got a passive. But yeah, let me just read that again so we're 100% clear. To start, DPS heroes lost their speed passive and a number of flanking heroes got nerfed. We also added survivability to support heroes, buffing their role passives as well, or their role passive, as well as making changes to specific heroes to increase their durability. Changes like Zenyatta's kick and Briggs' shield buff are examples of this working well, while some, like Mercy's Guardian Angel change, we believe we overcorrected, something you will see addressed in Season 4. The way we went about these changes was to preserve the playstyle of supports while still addressing the core issues. With what we've learned since launch, we feel like the support role is in a much better place now and will continue to improve as we add 2 new heroes to their ranks in Seasons 4 and 6. Okay. Quite a lot of info there on what they were doing with support heroes. And actually, I really like that because it does show you they identified the problem, the ways they're trying to deal with the problem, and sort of where they've got. And I actually really like that point about exercising some restraint, because yes, we were in a world where the game became 5v5. We'd gone from 6v6 to 5v5. The game became faster. Yeah, and like map design is arguably quite different. There's a lot more flank routes on the newer maps. So supports did feel a lot more exposed, especially supports like Zen and anyone who's stationary didn't really have an escape mechanism, found it really difficult to begin with. So there is a time frame there, I guess, where players will get used to it and they will change their playstyles. But that wasn't the be-all and end-all. There was still a ton of issues, and I think he's actually highlighted the issues there and what they've tried to do to fix it. So I think this is pretty good. And also as well, there is this big thing of the new support hero for Season 4 and then a new support hero for Season 6. What will they actually do? Like, how will they play? Will they be anything like Ramatra with tons of abilities, loads of like intricate, just like an over-the-top hero, an over-the-top modern hero design, I guess, with a lot of options? Or will it be more simplistic hero? Who knows, right? And how will that change the game? Again, we don't know, but these will be supports that are built for 5v5. And the elephant in the room here, guys, Kiriko was built for 5v5, and look how good she's been. So a newer hero built for 5v5 should probably be better, you'd think. And also as well, it kind of helps selling battle passes, doesn't it, if you release broken OP heroes. It then goes on to talk about collaborations. Now, these are like brand collaborations. So this is what he says. Next, let's talk collabs. We all loved and appreciated your reaction and excitement for our One Punch Man collaboration. Full transparency, we were a little worried about blending another universe, even one as cool as this, into Overwatch. When we first announced the collab, we talked about our values with how we'd like to handle events like these, and players seem to agree with us. The popularity of the event has given us the confidence to do more collaborations, and we're hoping to premiere another large collab later this year. So, translation of that, we've made a shitload of money off this, so we're going to do it again, right? Which is fine, but it was very obvious that the devs were really worried that they were somehow diluting or watering down Overwatch by doing this collab. And they even made I remember they made a stream with the art director, and I can't remember who else was on. I think it was like a bunch of Overwatch artists were basically saying like, yeah, this is how we design the skins. This is what we're trying to do. We don't want to water down our Overwatch IP. We want things to be sort of part of it. We don't want them to take over. So it isn't One Punch Man in Overwatch as a hero. Instead, you get Doomfist cosplaying as One Punch Man, which is kind of a really cool solution to that. Now, of course, in terms of the quality of the skins and all of that, it's all subjective. End of the day, One Punch Man, it's very simplistic, the design is, so there's not really much they can do beyond making simplistic skins that do look like the IP in question. So in that way, they did a good job. But yeah, again, still expensive skins, all of that. But the news here is they don't think the community were too worried, and I don't think the community were too worried about it, to be honest either. But yeah, they probably made a shitload of money off it, so they're going to do more of this. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. I guess the question is, will they do collabs with companies that have worked with Fortnite? Like, will we see Attack on Titan in Overwatch? I don't know. He then moves on to talk about the competitive system. Oh, Lord. Let's talk about the competitive system. Players have provided a lot of feedback on the reworked system that launched with Overwatch 2. One of the biggest issues that players bring up is how their experience has been affected by a partial rating reset at the beginning of each competitive season. This, along with some matchmaking issues, has caused a lot of confusion in matches. Starting with Season 4, we'll be removing this reset, and players should have a much clearer picture of their rating season to season. Internally, we are still discussing whether a rating reset should be part of the competitive system. We believe that a reset could make sense in Overwatch 2, but it would have to take a different form. We're currently asking ourselves, what if a partial reset happened at a much greater time interval, perhaps yearly, and coincided with a greater set of changes to the game or to the ranked system? I mean, that's funky, isn't it? Like, the idea of these sort of like yearly complete total rank resets almost. Everyone starts again and we sort of go for it. I don't know. I think there'd be quite a lot of people who would be for that. But I think it's kind of shocking that he's actually said that, because Blizzard have always maintained they would never do a full MMR reset. And we don't know whether that's what he's talking about here. But they have never really openly spoken about ever wanting to do that. They've always been in the other camp saying, No, we'd never do a complete reset because it would be chaos. Our systems would be chaotic. I mean, I'd argue that your rank system's been chaotic for the last 6 months, so you may as well have just done it. But anyway, you know, you guys in the comments, let me know what you think about that. It does go on to say, though, because there's a lot more information here about the competitive system. Players have also asked us to provide more information to better understand what's happening as they rank, as well as to get a clearer picture of individual match performance. We've gradually been introducing features and have more in Season 4 addressing some of these asks. Starting with Season 4, players will now see their progress towards a new rating and their win-loss record during that period. We're also looking at giving some information about the overall team skill range and balancing of a particular match. At this point, we've decided to not display ratings for individual players by default. Now, we do actually know what they are going to do here is have a total match rating. So when you go into a game in Season 4, it will show you the average rank of that game. Now, it's not going to give you the SR number. It's just probably just going to go, this is a Gold 5 game on average, right? So you look at it and think, okay, cool, it's Gold 5. You still won't be able to see the individual ranks of each of the players unless their profiles are set to public and you inspect them. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just want to go back to the Overwatch 1 system where you could see everyone's SR and rank and you had a better idea of what was going on. It's crazy that they got rid of that, but hey, that's the world that we live in. He then talks about rewards. Last topic, and we feel like this is the most important one. We're highly focused on feedback from players who say the game feels unrewarding and doesn't do a great job of recognizing their investment. Addressing this feedback touches almost every aspect of the game. We think that there are a few broad areas that these conversations cover. Players want to feel rewarded for their time playing the game. They'd like to be able to earn items that they want without an unreasonable grind to get them. Players want the game to recognize their time and skill investment, as well as give them a way to show this to others. Players want their performance to be celebrated while they're playing in a match. I think I agree with all of those. I mean, I guess all you guys do as well. Anyway, it then goes on to say, we've made changes to the game addressing some of these issues. Events now typically have skins that can be earned, and we've added credits to the Battle Pass that allow players to purchase nearly all original Overwatch event skins. On top of that, we've substantially increased the amount of XP earned from every match, from each match. We're working on rebuilding the On Fire system in the new engine, as well as making changes to play of the game to show greater variety of game-making plays. We're also working on a much larger hero and player progression system that will hopefully launch later this year. This new system replaces the old player level system while expanding on it to offer a bunch of categories for players to level and show off your progress to others. We'll continue to work on this aspect of the game. Besides the moment-to-moment gameplay of Overwatch, this is the largest part of our game feeling good to play. The last 6 months have been really exciting. We've learned so much from our community and are still looking forward to continuously improving the game. It probably goes without saying, but we're eager to share what's coming in Season 4 and beyond, so there's much more to come in 2023. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in game. Right, so let's just break that down. Again, you want to talk about communication issues. So when Overwatch 2 launched, and it looked like, well, it didn't look like, there's just features not in Overwatch 2 that were in Overwatch. And there's a lot of people saying, well, why is that not here? What's going on? Now, it was this thing of porting it to the new engine. Now, while it basically looks identical, the game, there are some new things going on, right? I think there's new shaders, new lighting. You know, I don't really know anything about technical aspects of engine design. But, you know, there is underlying enhancements, right? So things needed to be ported over into that system. And some things didn't work. Things like the player level system. Was that one of the things that didn't work? Or is it something that you did not want in the game, Blizzard? Because you wanted to push people to the Battle Pass. Now, if this was something you wanted in the game, and you came out and said, yes, we want this in the game, but we can't get it in Overwatch 2 at the moment because it doesn't work in this system. But we are working on a brand new system to show off your achievements as a player, which is a much more fully fledged system than just a simple player level. I don't think people would have been, you know, going on for months and months about like, oh, well, Blizzard is just removing features from the game for no reason. There's no reason to play this game. We don't know what's coming, but now we do. So at least this is good news, right? This could be really big. Like, having a way to show off your achievements, And also, I'll be honest, having some way of like leveling the account, not talking in terms of just a straight number, but leveling it through achievements is what he kind of seems to be saying here, and then earning unique rewards through that would be incredible. Players would really enjoy that. Imagine if you've won 1,000 games as Reinhardt and you get a special Reinhardt skin or some sort of special thing which shows that you are a very dedicated Reinhardt player. Those are things that players want, and it's crazy that they're not in the game. Maybe they're developing them, and they just haven't told us. Who knows? The On Fire system as well is another example of this. This was something that was obviously in Overwatch, and the crazy thing is, all the voice lines are in Overwatch 2. Your hero will go, "I'm on fire," but there's no on fire. It's like, well, okay, who's on fire? It doesn't matter. The UI is sterilized as well in Overwatch 2. It just doesn't have that same feel as the Overwatch 1 UI. It's not as personable. But yeah, it was removed. Why was it removed? Because it wasn't ready to go in Overwatch 2. And now they're saying that, and now they're saying it will come back when we've made it work. So it's good news here, right? And also just to touch on things like event rewards. The current event that's running, the Pashamarchi event, you actually get a ton of Battle Pass XP for that. I think you get like 40,000 if you win or complete 6 games or something crazy. So you do get a lot of a reward for that. Obviously, you still need to buy the Battle Pass. They still want you to buy the Battle Pass, giving you added XP. If you don't own the Battle Pass, but you play this event, you're earning loads of XP. It puts more pressure on you to then buy the Battle Pass. So all of these things are all going on all the time. But it's still overall positive, right? You are getting more than you did in the past. And I guess the final thing is on the Battle Pass itself. Yeah, they did add credits to the Battle Pass, but they added legacy credits and then called them Overwatch coins, didn't they? Or Overwatch credits? Legacy, I don't even know what they call them. Is Overwatch coin the premium currency? But basically, you don't get the premium currency, which is the issue, right? Players want the premium currency in the Battle Pass. The biggest game on the planet with the Battle Pass, Fortnite, gives you the premium currency in the Battle Pass. So why can't Blizzard do it? It's always going to be the comeback there. So yeah, there's still loads of stuff they can improve with this. But I think this is really cool to see this, especially from the game director, breaking down what's happened in the last 6 months, what they're working on fixing, what have been the biggest issues, and what is coming relatively soon. I think this is all good stuff. All right, guys, thank you for listening and watching the video. Remember, if you want to help the channel out, do leave a comment below, like this video, and subscribe to the channel for more Overwatch 2 content. And I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. See you soon.